Okay, well, hello everyone, I'm back again. This is going to be part 1 of my build on the 50 years Excelsior. And I've already started preparing the parts that I'm going to use in step 1. I'm going to prime those parts first. So because I'm doing the NCC bridge, I have put Silver Sharpie on part 28 because that's where the 2 clear impulse engines, parts 107, go. And also I cut out the part of the sprue tree, part 20, that uses the, that is for the NCC bridge. And of course, you've got just the top saucer here, and I already filed down the rough edges on the sides, although I see I need to do a bit more filing. A second here. Just a little bit. There, that's good. Then we can use the pointy file. See this little hole here in the top of the bridge? Well, it's not all the way through. That's all right. You just use a little file and you poke it up through. And then you poke it through the other way. But I am going to check the tab on the bridge to make sure that it is indeed a round tab. And it is. So it does need a rounder hole. Okay, good. All right. So these parts are all ready for priming now. And the primer I'm going to use, I will show you in just a moment. Be right back. Okay, thanks for waiting. I'm back again. I went into the primer box and I found the light gray primer because, as you can see, the saucer's white, almost white. And then, of course, on top of the light gray primer, I will probably use a white primer. And you say, why would you use a white primer on top of gray? Because it enriches the final color, which will be pearl white. I found that out with my Magnum PI Ferrari. So first the gray primer, and you do all the sanding and putting with the gray primer, if needed. Then you do the white primer, and then you finally do the base color, which in this case is going to be pearl white. And then we'll see what the ship looks like after that's done. And I will use the inside cover of my Voyager box to do the priming. So after I have lunch, I'll do the priming and we'll see what happens after that. So I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye. Well, thank you for waiting. I'm back again. I successfully primed the first few parts with the Tamiya light gray fine surface primer. I focused on page 1 to start with, but of course a few parts got primed with along with it from later pages, like the NCC shuttle bay, the nacelle end caps, the rear torpedo launchers. Now it is true that not every part got primed evenly. As you'll see, the clear parts, they got the nice gray, so they'll be ready for detail painting. But as you can see, some parts did not get entirely primed evenly. Now you see, I didn't know that. The NX shuttle bay has little shuttles. But what I think I'm going to do, because you don't want to have too many coats of primer, because then the pearl white might not be glossy enough, I think I'm going to leave the ship as it is. Some of it'll be whiter, some of it'll be lighter, and that'll be a subtle form of accidental pre-shading. But what I've decided is I am going to use the white primer, because if you look at the Aztec decals for a minute, get them out of the box, you're going to see just how detailed they are. If they were against a fine white, they would show up so much. But being against a gray color, they won't show up as much, and it'll be somewhat reminiscent of the Enterprise A, with its light gray primer and its pearl white hull over top of the parts. So of course what I did is I labeled which parts on the guide throughout all the pages have been primered so far. That's the yellow. So actually I'm going to take the primer white step out of it entirely. There we go. Primer white step is out. It's appropriate it was colored orange because you don't need to do that step. So there's step 1 and 2. Those are the parts that have been primed so far. Step 3, the only part that was primed, was the navigational deflector. Then you have to go down to step 6, and you see the 2 warp nacelle end caps. They were primed. Should be 2 sets, don't you think? One for each nacelle. It's a good one. Let me check on that. I'll be right back. Yes, I'm back. There are 2 sets, as you see. This piece, both of them are part 14. So that's good news. So the other part 15 for the aft end of the nacelle must be on another sprue tree, and indeed it is. I put the sprue tree parts in a Ziploc bag to protect them. There they are. Right there. You can even see the part number clearly enough, part 15. Of course, it's going to get sharpied. And so those are the other parts that have to be primered, as well as the secondary hull, the lower saucer, the remaining clear parts. So I'll probably be priming most of today. And then tomorrow being Saturday, that'll be the day that I do the base coat over everything, even the